Hey guys, how are you? I hope spring break is still doing you some justice out there. Some of you may be going back to work soon. I don't know, the rules are getting weird out here now. I guess I just need to poke my head out and find out what's going on. It's more of what I'm saying. I heard something changed recently though, so I need to check it out. But man, it's cabin fever starting to set in out there. From me witnessing the increase of, shouting going on between my neighbors, from the increase of shouting going on in social media, it really feels like everyone's a little frustrated. Need to go for a run because I hear that's still legal. But I think some of the things that people are getting frustrated by are small things, and I think that's just a symptom of just being tired of being cooped up. But I right now find myself reasonably outraged by recent news. So I normally don't talk about recent news stuff, but this one kind of it felt real for me. So what happened? A young man in Georgia, a young athletic built man, was running. It was in the middle of the day, broad daylight outside. He's just running through, I believe, his neighborhood or an adjacent neighborhood, something like that. Nonetheless, he gets kind of chased down by a father and son duo, and he is shot with assault rifles. So I'm gonna stop right here and say that this video is going to be heavier than most. So if you don't want to hear about trauma, then yeah, let's just get together next time. The next video is going to be happier. I know that. But today we're talking about trauma porn and how I am over it. So let's define trauma porn real quick. Trauma porn is defined as the avid consumption of awful content, the perverse fascination with other people's misfortune. For me, that definition hits a little close to home because sometimes other people look like people who look like me. And so it doesn't get to be as far away as we normally get to be removed from it. This video isn't per se directly on what happened, right? Because I'm over the trauma porn, and we'll get more into what I mean about that. But there are 4 things that I do want to kind of just point out about that whole situation that has me reasonably outraged about that situation. First thing is that it took place in February, but this is like May, when people are just like on a larger scale just finding out about this atrocity. 2, if you can't run in your own neighborhood, then like where can you run right now? 3, it took place in February, so how come there has been no arrest? Well, actually, I'm sorry, just recently an arrest, and only an arrest. Like, no, okay. And then number 4, there's a video of the shooting that seemingly has been in the police's possession since February. So yeah, I don't understand what's going on. But part of number 4 is what this video is about. It's about the fact that people kept sharing that video. So I ended up seeing that video maybe like 4 or 5 times when I first learned about this situation. And I'm like, wow, and I can't watch it at all. I like know how it starts. I see when they make contact and I click it off because I kind of know how that story goes, but to run into it inadvertently so many times is crazy. Like, videos like that one are very much a part of my zeitgeist. Like, I'm going to run into them. My friends talk about them. As quiet as it's kept, I'm a black woman. So it's a fear that I have about the men in my family that they might experience things like that. It's not about being a victim. It's just about realizing the signs that have been shown to me up to this point. For example, as I said, when Mike Brown was shot, I decided not to share the videos anymore. The reason why is because on paper, Mike Brown fits the exact description of my youngest brother. The day it happened, I was on my way to work when I found out. But as soon as I got off the road, I called my youngest brother in tears, and he completely understood. He said, yeah, Rhea, I saw it, and I know why you're like, but I'm fine, but I'm okay. Like, I'll see you when I get home. I'm fine. And so you shouldn't have to have those moments as often as I've had those moments in the last 5-10 years of my life. It's traumatic. It can be traumatic. And it's tough. It's tough when you constantly see the same video with no explanation, no rhyme or reason, no real substance put to the senselessness of life that looks like yours being lost. It's rough. It's rough, man. It's really rough. So, I years ago, with the Mike Brown slaying, I resolved to myself to stop sharing those very graphic and gruesome videos. Again, I dub it as trauma porn. And so I just kind of want to do this video today about the 5 reasons why I believe we as a total society, like no matter who, what, when, where, why, right? Why we as a global nucleus need to stop sharing these horrific videos of human life being lost in such brutality. So let's just jump into it, guys. Number 1, it desensitizes people to other people's suffering. People typically make the argument when they share these videos that, oh, I'm sharing it for awareness or just to get the word out. And 9 times out of 10, all you really generate when people see the video is at most another share. At least what I did, a real quick open and then a real fast scroll past until I bump into it again. That's not really getting the word out, right? Like, it's really not adding any information to the narrative or necessarily even explaining what the narrative is. It's just leaving the experience of one person who is no longer with us to be displayed over and over and over again. Now, Ahmaud is the young man who recently died. Mike Brown is the example that I used earlier, because I don't want to hear that it's just this one, because there are at least 3 other names that I can pull out behind, like Tamir or Sandra or the young man Garner. Yeah. It's too many names of strangers just embedded in my psyche because I saw their last moments. It's a lot. Number 2, outside of just becoming a more desensitized society, we'll also probably become a more cynical society from constantly seeing those videos over and over and over again. Like, what do you expect people to really do after you've seen at least 4 to 5 videos on average, of just human despair. And it's not just the names that I've named, because we've also seen cars being driven through crowds on videos that went viral. We've also seen tear gas being blown into peaceful protest of mixed race. Life has just been insane these past this latter half of a decade. So why are we trying to condition our society to be like, oh, that's kind of par for the course? We wouldn't want our society to get used to seeing people exercising their constitutional rights, to assemble, to push back, to run, to be free. Always, or not always, but a lot of the time being met with outrageous and uncalled for brutality. And then we just shrug it off. It's par for the course. That's the only thing that can come from us constantly seeing this depravity. Like it's a lot. It doesn't push us towards a more harmonious existence together at all. It doesn't make it easier to make the argument that people are just making excuses either. We don't need more reasons to turn cold and cynical. I think we have enough. I think once we start to see each other more, that Mike, Sandra, Tamir, Ahmad, they all could have been your cousin, brother, sister, uncle, regardless of what you look like. I think once we start to see that more readily in our face, then we won't want to see these types of videos anymore. We won't be so quick to hit that share button. Number 3, it re-victimizes the victim or the survivors of the situation. In a New York Times article entitled News or Trauma Porn, it tells the story of a young lady named Ying Dai who wanted a picture that was tweeted out by a student journalist of the Northwestern School University's paper, tweeted out a picture of her being trampled in a protest that happened after a speech on that campus kind of went awry. Once she saw this picture of an experience of something that she kind of, didn't expect to happen, didn't want to happen, and for certainly didn't want to live again, she kind of tweeted back at the guy and was like, hey, can you take this down? He and the school publication did subsequently take it down because they kind of understood, or at least in the little snippet that they released afterwards, they made it seem like they understood what she was going through. But yeah, imagine seeing your mother, brother, cousin, sister, brother last breath 5 accidental times on a Facebook scroll as you're trying to run away from it, right? Or, more importantly, imagine seeing the last breaths of someone that you just kind of knew. And you have no answers, no understanding, no recollection. You don't even know where to get information from. It's horrible. Ying just experienced it from a picture setting. And even in a picture form, Northwestern was like, you know what? You might got a point, kid. A video, it's like an imitation of life to some degree, right? Or it's capturing life in motion, and it has real feeling to it. You get to see a person breathe, move, speak, and then no more. And we make it go viral like it's nothing. It's something. It leaves something behind. It leaves something behind even to the strangers who've just seen it for the 100th time, it leaves something behind. And it's pretty interesting that like this "it ain't me" voyeuristic mentality has been deeply ingrained in America's society from the beginning of its times. We used to, as a society, watch lynchings. We also, as a society, used to watch witch burnings in Britain. No matter how you slice that pie, our roots are seated in just the hedonistic pleasure of someone else's misfortune. At what point do we rise above that? When do we say enough is a goddamn enough? Number 4, it communicates that we might have some questionable societal norms when I or me or we aren't the object of the issue, right? What do I mean? It's easy to be detached from something when you don't see yourself in it. It's easy to say that's not my issue when it's happening over there, right? And when we keep sharing videos, we make death always seems like it's over there until it comes home, and then you want the sympathy that the person before you wasn't afforded, or just even the space, or just the humanage, right? Whatever a human needs, you want it from another human, right? Humanage. We don't give ourselves as a society that space in this digital age to respect people still how people need to be respected, or just some universal laws, right? I always grew up, I've attended a lot of funerals in my life, and in the funerals you never, like, no outside people outside of like the immediate family would take a picture of the person in the casket, just out of respect, right? We wouldn't jump all over the person who's grieving right away out of respect. Like these are things that now, because we are so living in a space where it seems like everybody's connected, but we kind of just alone, right? It's just you and your phone, you and your tablet, you and your computer, thinking you're engaging with people. You're missing that small nuance of that humanage, right? That shit from a human that only another human being can give to you. You don't know how to read the room, boo. And I hate to laugh, but it's just sickening. Like, it's scary. It's scary. Sometimes I think, like, what possibly do you want from it? And I just believe in energy and karma and, like, opposites and laws of attraction and stuff like that to varying degrees. I don't want to keep putting out the death of someone else so flippantly and expect the next person to care about my death. Like, it's just kind of like that for me. Again, for me. Number 5, and then I'm going to get out of here, guys, because I didn't want to bring you nothing too heavy over the spring break, but it looks like heavy came to us. Look, I ain't laying on Plymouth Rock. All right, I'm sorry. Number 5, all right. It makes marginalized people feel or become more marginalized. What do I mean? It's shitty to tell your experience, right, from the margins, and then have that experience be questioned. Oh, it's not like that. Oh, you're just making an excuse. Oh, you blowing it up bigger than what it is. And then for a video to come out and it'd be like, oh, well, no, that just happened to him. That's just his story. That's just there and them. It's like, Excuse me, did you not realize that I goddamn told you the same goddamn story to a varying degree a moment ago? No, everybody does not. Everybody who has experienced or felt being followed when you were doing nothing but some normal shit has told that story. So we know the feelings that were felt up into your last breath. To see it, though, to see it does something to you. And then for other people to see it and still be like, nah, nah, that does something to you. What we tend to negate is that if it does something to the person pushing it away, and it does, it's a scary place in existence to be in when you don't see another person for who that person is. Even if it's just a person, it's scary. I don't want to live in a world like that where we don't see other people in front of us as other people worthy of people shit. I don't have much to say in closing. I know I'm tired of seeing it, and I know you can't run away from bad news, and I know information like this will always get out, and however it gets out, I'm not naive to those things. What I also know is that I'll do my small little part to not be indulgent in the trauma porn no more. I don't want to. It's not as tantalizing as it used to be to me. So as always, guys, I leave you with a lot of light, because there's always light at the end of this tunnel. I leave you guys with a lot of life. Ahmaud Arbery. And I leave you guys with a lot of love. Because the love that you give to me, I give right back to you. And I hope you'll share with someone else too.